Hello and thank you for joining us on Newsweek, where we highlight some of the biggest stories that made the headlines recently. I am Mark Otabo. Presidency debunks removal of defense power ministers. Also, major shake-up at NNPCL as new management sacks MDs of Port Harcourt, Warri and Kaduna refineries. Later on the show, labor unions push for wage review amid soaring living costs. All the details in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back. Earlier this week, the presidency refuted a viral online report claiming that President Bola Tinubu had sacked the ministers of defense and power, describing it as false and dangerous. Special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Ononuga, condemned the report and raised alarm over the increasing threat of fake news in Nigeria's digital space. He warned that the unchecked spread of misinformation undermines democracy and national unity, urging security agencies to act swiftly against its perpetrators. Well, my guests are public affairs analyst, author, speaker. Of course, I have it right here in the studio, Jesufemi Adeogun. Good to have you on the show, my brother. Thank you for coming on. All right, I also have Executive Director, Center for Corporate Accountability, Olufemi Lawson, who joins us via Zoom. Olufemi Lawson, it is good indeed to have you on the show this evening.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Mark.
All right, I would begin with you quickly. Now, what exact meaning did you read to the fake news that circulated about the sacking of the defense and power ministers by the president?
Well, for me, it's part of the menace of fake news that we are battling with as a society. And a lot of this just consider this as mere rumors, not minding the attendant consequences of such, not only in terms of how it affects governance, but public safety. There have been times in this country where such false news have been disseminated by media organizations that have led to crises, that have claimed lives of innocent people, not only in Nigeria, but in some other parts of the world. So we must begin to treat issues like this beyond mere retractions or mere condemnations, to the extent that we must begin to recommend punitive measures for purveyors of fake news. I want to emphasize fake news, not in any way punitive measures against the media. The media remains the watchdog, has an obligation to inform the people about happenings within and outside the government. But issues that can escalate into crisis beyond even the sack or not of ministers must be treated seriously. And these are very disturbing trend as far as the media, particularly the social media usage, have become in Nigeria.
All right, Jesufemi, you heard Olufemi Lawson. From your point of view, when you heard the news, how disrupting was it? Were you expecting something of that nature? Besides, did you believe it when you first saw it?
When I first saw it, I didn't actually believe it, because I've learned to not to believe what I see on social media, because it's not everything is social media. And that is true. People run to me and say, "Oh, see this, what do you see about this?" And I said, "Have you confirmed it? Confirm it first from relevant authorities before you go into this." But I would say that people like National Assembly should do something about this. This fake news, like you rightly said, can lead to a lot of things. You can imagine when they said the Minister Wike was sick and was on his way to France, all for us to see a few days after.
That went really, really crazy.
Went really low. And these things can really, really get to some people. Apart from security, can bring some people down. You can imagine the fake news going around about Mark.
Now, talking about the fake news, remember there was a time there was an advocacy for social media to be controlled and regulated. But then the young people felt their voices were about to be tamed. How do you actually, manage that bridge when it comes to that conversation? Because, of course, it has to be regulated. But the moment you raise issue of regulation, it becomes a case of you want to shut our voices down, you don't want us to speak out anymore and everything. So how do you think that can be managed in the process?
Very clearly, Mark. What I'll say is this. Yes, young people will say that there's freedom of speech. They want to take that freedom of speech from us. I'm also young. We are also young. But you must confirm what you want to say before you say it. That is what the National Assembly need to work on. They need to put out a law that states that if you do not confirm what you want to say before you say it, you'll be made to account
for the
whatever you say.
Whatever.
So check before you put it out there. It's as simple as that. Because it's really going to degenerate to a lot of things. There's a lot of fake news about Nigeria.
Yeah, of course.
And it's not true.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Nigeria is a great country.
Absolutely.
I have a friend that is empowering 100 Nigerians with digital skills, free of charge. Another organization is charging 400,000 naira
for the same service.
Why is it free of charge? So I told a young person, go for this course. She said it's fake. That if it's real, it will be everywhere.
But well, let's say maybe your friend is not utilizing social media well enough.
He's even utilizing. I even took it.
Maybe he's underutilizing it.
Yeah.
Well.
so you know, this idea of fake news and all that has really gotten to some people in the country, and they feel like everything is bad in Nigeria, and it's not true.
All right. Olufemi Lawson, quickly, these sectors are very crucial to the economy. Did you think the fake news traveled far because it was the expectation of most Nigerians, especially with the security challenges and the epileptic power supply in some parts of the country and the complaints about the electricity tariffs back and forth that we're still trying to come to terms with? Did you think the issues that bordered on those ministries made the fake news travel that far from your perspective?
Absolutely. You know, a lot of Nigerians have had the expectation that the president was going to be precise in reshuffling some of these persons who, particularly power ministers and the ministers of defense, based on what is considered as performances of their ministry, especially when you look at the power situation in the country and the security challenges in the country. That nonetheless, it is not enough, to justify anyone's action of spreading false information about a decision that is as crucial as the sack of members of the Federal Executive Council.
Okay. All right, just Femi, from what we're looking at now, the presidency has come out to deny the news. How disturbing is this trend of fake news, and how do you think we can tame this monster before it plunges the country into an unending chaos?
I've said it earlier, the National Assembly are the lawmakers. They need to swift to work. Put out the law that states before you bring out the news, check it. If you don't check it, be ready to take consequences. It's very, very simple. Then when you take somebody as scapegoat, another person as scapegoat, people will start to redress and think before they post things. Don't forget, some people profit from this fake news, from this so-called fake news. So they are all there waiting for what we can quickly grab. Like the question you asked him, the person in charge of NNPC was just sacked. The minister in charge was sacked.
We're getting there.
Was sacked.
Yeah, we're getting there.
And they were expecting that, okay, maybe it's going to be like a big shake-off. You can imagine some areas in Lagos doesn't have power for the past 1 week. It was just restored. No news about it. So everybody was waiting. Some people were killed in some part of the country. So we're waiting like, oh, probably it's actually a shake-up. But somebody saw the move, took the fake news and put it out there. That person needs to be cautioned.
All right. All right, we'll go on a break now and Newsweek continues in a moment. Please stay with us.